I want to go back. He wants to go back. I want to go back to the farm. Go back far away from home, with a milk pail on my arm. I miss the rooster, the one that used to wake me up at 4 a.m. down on the farm.
I'm Scott Bain. They call me the old farmer. Earlier, in an episode that I had done, I believe it was number 13, I had created a sharpening stand that you stood up and you could put your stones in for sharpening knives and other blades. And it worked very well, and it demonstrated that doing, for me, a 17-degree angle was perfect for the type of things that I wanted to do. So I used it for quite a while, and it demonstrated to me that it was a good process. Now, if I needed to do beveling, I would do it on a grinder, such as this DeWalt. No promotional consideration from them. It's just the one that I happen to have in my shop for doing beveling on. Now, the reason why I'm showing this is I'm using a camera that I forgot that this is the way it records. Inside the yellow area is what would be recorded, and the stuff on the outside of the screen that you would still see would not be on the video. Why they did that, I talked to them on it, and there was no way to change that. And so there's no way to accurately shoot with something like that, and therefore things are a little bit too tight. So I apologize for that. If you happen to buy a camera that does that, ship it back to them immediately and say, this is unacceptable. What you see is what you should get on your video. Now, I'm trying the 17-degree angle again, but I'm trying this in a horizontal position. So I took a 4x4, I put a block underneath it to create a 17-degree, and I know things are sliding around, but I wanted to see how well it worked. Now, the knife that I'm using is a 60-year-old French chef's knife that I got back when I was 16 years old, so that's about 50 years old. Older than 50 years old. So, and to let you know, I always kept this knife absolutely sharp, and it never cut me. In those 50 years, it never cut me once. So I'm kind of seeing if this system will sharpen this knife, then it's heavy enough to do anything else that I would want sharpened. So am I doing it perfectly? No, I know my angle is off a little bit. It's not exactly horizontal on it, but you know, it's enough to show me whether the system will work. So I tried out a few knives on it, and it really sharpened it up. And when I looked at the video, I was even sloppier than what I thought I was on sharpening this knife. No wonder it didn't quite come up to where I wanted it to be. So I got the piece of wood that was blocking up for 17-degree angle, and I went through and did a 17-degree angle cut on the block of wood so that it would fit approximately where it needed to be, and just took my time on doing the measurements. You know, for me, I always measure 3 times and cut once. 2 times just doesn't work. I usually make a mistake. So 3 times is what I like to do for measuring, and then do 1 cut. And I got a 50-50 chance of doing it right. And now I'm over at the drill press. I picked this up from a gentleman who was a woodworker, did beautiful building furniture. He showed me pictures of his work. He was late 80s, early 90s. And when I was over at his house one day, I commented on his drill press, and I wasn't familiar with the company, and researched it out. It was Grizzly, and I am really happy with the drill press. I can do a lot of things with it. I did have to replace the on-off switch on it. It was a little flaky, so instead of fighting with it, I just decided to replace the switch. It was just a few dollars. I did it myself. So I'm doing my holes in the wood so that I can screw it on. I didn't want to split the block, so I drilled the holes. And now I'm setting up to do the countersink because I didn't have any screws long enough to screw this to the 4x4 block that's going to be the base for the sharpening stone. And so I'm doing my woodworking here. One side has a little pinhole in it, and the other side will have a recessed part in it so that I can use shorter screws on it. Still plenty of grab area there. I only took about half the depth of the piece of wood, and there's the pinhole side. And see, I just went in a little bit there, not even half, I guess. Now I've gone through with the table, so I didn't show it, but I went through and cut the block at the level it was supposed to be. And then we'll go back and try it again and see how things work. Now this happens to be a laminated cleaver that some visiting Chinese doctors who we became friends with brought as a gift. We've had it for, I don't know, 30 years or so, but it's a laminated blade. You can get that extremely sharp. I like the angle. I got a good 17-degree angle on it. I think 16.9 degree. And so I'm just trying it out to see how well it works. And angle-wise, it works well. But it's a little bit too light. I can't put the pressure on the knife that I want. It did sharpen that cleaver up beautifully. But things slipped around a little bit, so... That was the 300 side. Now I'm going to go to the 1000 side. And sharpen a little bit more. This is just window cleaner. And you can see there, I was careful on doing a horizontal sweep on that. I took some 2x4s and clamped it to either side, cut it to the length of the table there, and it locks right in place. The 2x4s have a little bit of a lip to grab that will keep it from sliding. And it sits there, and I leave it out like that, and because it's in a screened-in room, and therefore it's protected from the weather, and I just enjoy using it. It's easier than the vertical version of it, which I'll use for axes and things like that, lawnmower blades. But for the knives and things, I wanted a horizontal version. Save the vertical one for the big stuff. Well, this is the old farmer, Scott Bain. Be well.
Very angry. Anyway, later, guys. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you around. And as always, shine on.
Down on the farm.